The winds that sweep through Chicago's canyons of steel and glass now carry the weight of a deepening crisis: homelessness. It's visible on street corners, in crowded shelters, and in the anxious eyes of families searching for safety. Veterans, migrants, and long-term residents all find themselves in need, straining Chicago's resources. For years, the city managed these groups separately, but this fractured approach led to confusion and competition for help. Now, Chicago is creating a single, unified network of support, help based on need, not background. This bold experiment carries the hopes of thousands for a warm bed and a chance to rebuild. The answer will shape the city's future. Chicago's old shelter system was fragmented. Veterans, long-term residents, and migrants each had separate pathways. This created silos, inefficiency, and confusion for those in need. The arrival of thousands of migrants in 2022 forced the city to create a parallel emergency shelter network, converting public spaces into makeshift homes. Tensions rose as some felt newcomers received preferential treatment, while others waited for help. By late 2024, it was clear two massive, separate systems were unsustainable. The city launched the One System initiative, merging all shelters into a single, unified network. Now, everyone seeking shelter enters through the same front door, regardless of status or background. A central intake center assesses needs and directs people to the most appropriate shelter. This shift is more than logistical. It's a declaration that a safe place to sleep is a right for all. The new system aims to be equitable, streamlined, and healing for a divided community. Chicago is betting on unity to address a crisis that affects everyone. The stakes couldn't be higher. The numbers behind Chicago's homeless crisis are staggering. From 2022 to 2024, the city's sheltered homeless population surged fivefold, adding over 14,500 people. This explosive growth drove a national spike in homelessness, with record increases across the country. Much of the surge came from over 51,000 migrants arriving in Chicago, many with children needing immediate shelter. 4 cities, Chicago, New York, Massachusetts, and Denver, accounted for nearly 3/4 of the national increase. Even as shelters filled, unsheltered homelessness also rose sharply, especially in Chicago. The city faced a perfect storm: a humanitarian emergency for migrants and a worsening crisis for long-term residents. Resources stretched thin, competition for beds intensified, and the system buckled under the weight. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent thousands of stories of hardship and resilience. Chicago's social safety net has been forced to transform in the face of overwhelming need. Every statistic hides a human story. Michael, a U.S. Army veteran, returned to Chicago and lost his job and health, ending up homeless. He felt invisible, especially as new shelters opened for migrants. But the new unified system helped him find housing and VA services, a glimmer of hope. Elena, a mother from Venezuela, arrived in Chicago exhausted and scared with her children. After the systems merged, she found a family shelter and a bilingual case manager. Her children started school, and she began English classes. Michael and Elena's journeys show the hope and resilience in Chicago's new approach. These faces remind us what's at stake. Despite a unified system, the harsh truth remains: there aren't enough shelter beds for everyone in need. With only about 6,800 beds citywide, thousands are left waiting, especially after the closure of temporary migrant shelters. Families face the brunt. Parents make desperate calls, only to hear shelters are full. Many must choose between unsafe situations, sleeping in cars or splitting up. The Central Intake Center offers just 200 temporary beds, mostly for single adults. The competition for shelter is fierce and many are turned away nightly. the root problem is deeper. A severe lack of affordable housing keeps people stuck in shelters for months or years. Shelters are meant to be a bridge, but with rents soaring and few low-income apartments, that bridge often leads nowhere. Until the housing crisis is solved, the shelter system will remain overwhelmed. The promise of fairness feels hollow when resources are so scarce. For Chicago's most vulnerable, sanctuary remains painfully out of reach. The crisis has frayed Chicago's social fabric, sparking protests and deepening tensions. In October 2025, a protest outside a federal immigration facility led to the arrest and injury of Dana Briggs, a 70-year-old Air Force veteran. The incident became a symbol. Veterans and migrants aren't enemies, but allies in a broken system. Groups like Illinois Veterans for Change defended Briggs, demanding rights for all vulnerable people. Meanwhile, ICE raids outside shelters created fear among undocumented migrants, making many afraid to seek help. Operation Midway Blitz led to over 800 arrests, intensifying anxiety in the community. The city is caught between compassion and federal enforcement, struggling to protect its most vulnerable. Protests and raids are symptoms of a city searching for its values. The streets have become a stage for these tensions. Chicago's challenge is not just logistical, but moral. The path forward is uncertain, but the need for unity is clear. Zai. Amid the crisis, Chicago has created a single, clear path to shelter. Anyone in need can call 311, the city's non-emergency hotline, available 24/7. Operators connect callers to the One System initiative and its network of support. For those seeking help in person, the Shelter Placement and Resource Center, SPARK, on South Halsted is open around the clock. SPARK offers 200 temporary beds and serves as a hub for shelter placement. Upon arrival, individuals are assessed by caseworkers to match them with the right resources: family shelters, medical support, or veteran services. The goal: match needs with the best available help, regardless of background. This streamlined process aims to eliminate confusion and competition. While bed shortages persist, the unified system offers a dignified first step towards safety. For many, it's the only lifeline in a time of overwhelming crisis. Behind every statistic is a human cost: dignity lost, safety threatened, hope tested. Homelessness is relentless anxiety, not knowing where you'll sleep or eat. For families, the emotional toll is crushing. Children's health, education, and security all suffer. Parents struggle to shield their kids from trauma, but instability leaves lasting scars. Physical health deteriorates without stable shelter. Minor issues become emergencies. Mental health suffers too, with stress and trauma compounding the crisis. The human cost is visible in weary faces and quiet desperation. These are our neighbors, not numbers. The crisis demands we see the people behind the statistics. Every story is a call for compassion and action. Chicago's resilience is legendary, but now it must show its heart. The unified shelter system is a step forward, but real change requires community action. We must reject divisive narratives. Veterans and migrants alike deserve safety and support. Empathy is our greatest tool. Listen, learn, and recognize our shared responsibility. Support policies for affordable housing, mental health care, and job training. Volunteer, donate, or simply speak out against misinformation. Every act of kindness sends a message of hope to those who feel forgotten. The true measure of a city is how it treats its most vulnerable. Chicago faces a defining moment. Turn away, or confront the crisis with courage and compassion. Let's choose to build a future where everyone has a safe place to call home. The path is hard, but hope is within reach if we walk it together. The shadow of homelessness can recede, but only if we act. The future of Chicago depends on us all.